Hello everyone, this is Nick Lawson with CDC Take Charge Software, and today we're continuing our session on how to enhance forms and applications in Alpha software by incorporating xBasic into the design process. Once again, we're looking at our Take Charge Desktop version 2, written back in 2006, and we're going to look specifically at our application quick launch list. So when I select it, the screen changes, and what we see is a list of index cards. Each card has a name assigned to it, and that represents a group of types of applications the user would have on their system, and they would then take and be able to link up the buttons to those applications so that they can launch them right from our desktop. The first card in the list, as you can see, is communication apps. But let's say I want to look at something else. I want to look at work-specific apps. Well, I click the little icon in the corner. Communications moves back. Work-specific takes the front. Say I want to look at utilities. Click on utilities. Work-specific goes back to its original position, and their communications goes to the back, and everything else shifts. Pretty cool, pretty simple. When a button is blank, if you click the button, it automatically brings up a properties box that allows the user to assign an application to it. If they have an application assigned and they want to take and change it or modify it, they check this little box here. Then when they click the button, instead of opening the application, it opens up the dialog box, the properties dialog box, fills in the current values, and then allows the user to change those values or modify them and save it and close it. That's it. Pretty simple. Above our index cards, we have a text field that if the user types in a text string and clicks the little web search button, it'll take and bring up Google search and automatically search and pull the results back and display them in their default browser. If you type in an actual web address and then click the search button, it'll take you directly to that page, saving you from having to open the application and then do the searches and so forth and so on. So pretty cool stuff. Now, the reason I like this design is that in reality, there are only 15 buttons on the form. When you take and select a different card, those buttons are reallocated to display different results. So in essence, what happens is the 15 buttons now have the capability of launching 90 unique applications. Very cool. Let's take a look at how that's done. So I bring up our control panel. We have to go down here to our form. Take Charge Navigator. Okay, now we have a great big conditional object in the center of the screen. When they click on the button application list, what it does is it takes them down to the launch bar page level of the conditional object. Now, on the card, or on the page, as you can see, we have our cards drawn, and basically the way that's done is we have text objects here for each of these, and these are just lines that are drawn on the form to make it look like they're cards stacked one on top of the other. Kind of a cheap little graphic thing. And then on whatever card is front, this text object is assigned by checking or clicking the button in the corner of the card. So when they click the button, it goes out and it takes and assigns everything based on which one is selected. Then it takes and goes and opens application list, starts at the beginning, fetches through the table, and looks for the button link values for each button, and then assigns the appropriate file name for the quick launch application. Once that's done, it takes and reassigns the button names so that each of these buttons will then have the value for the application based on the group or card that is selected. So let's look at assign button name. Oops, sorry. Functions and assign button name. Here you go. Same thing, it fetches back through the list, only it pulls for each of the 15 buttons on a screen. Okay, now, next, when they go to launch a button, it takes and determines what card is selected by you looking at the text value. All right, and then it says, okay, our variable button, VBN, is going to be, and it picks the right one. Then, if the checkbox is P, or if the text says blank for the button, then it takes and runs our button edit dialog, which allows them to take and modify the fields in our X dialog box, which is here. Okay, so they take and make the changes or assign a new application if they wish, save it and close it, and it's done. If they are just opening the application, then it runs run app, which looks like this. And there you go. Pretty simple. There's not much to it. It goes out the application list, does a batch begin, fetch first, fetches through the table, finds the appropriate button link value, which is equal to VBN, our variable, then assigns the field name, the location, and the start in, passes that down to the proper directory in directory put, and then runs system shell. Voila. You have your application launched, and it works perfectly fine. Okay. Now, over here on our text search, all we're doing is making a simple decision. Are we searching for a web address by looking at www or HTTP? And if we are, we launch that. Otherwise, we bring up Google and we search and then display that Google search page. Very simple. Well, that's it for this lesson here. Now, we went through that code really fast and I really didn't explain it. But that's because we have limited time in these videos. If you go over to our blog at cdctakecharge.wordpress.com, you'll be able to see all this code written out with an explanation, and then you are free to copy it and use it as you will. Once again, folks, we appreciate you stopping by. We know you have lots of video viewing options, and we appreciate the time you take to spend with us. Thanks again for stopping by, and have a great day.